um, what were we talking about, Carlos and Jazz?
Sir, we were talking about like how for this week at least we focused talaga on the functional aspect of it. Pero like we had like a bunch of systems and party diagrams from the previous weeks that we just haven't been able to model yet and incorporate into the site.
Okay.
But once we are able to do that, we will swap them in like as soon as possible, naman.
You know, that's what I'm happy about your group per se, because you are aware of what we're doing. Just that, of course, there's the time factor. So I'm looking forward to seeing that development. And like I said earlier, I would rather that you guys finish it already. But if you can find the time and squeeze some design development, that party in that design, you know, that's more than welcome. Okay.
So yeah, thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bea and Jao, can you be next? And then probably Joanna and is it Justin? Sorry, hindi ko makabisado yung teams.
Yes, sir. Si JM.
Actually, I knew it. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Okay. You want to go first? I think sila Bea is still preparing.
Yes, please.
Okay. Joanna.
Thank you.
Sige, sir. We can go first.
Yeah.
Hi, sir.
Did you go to the Lord Calma exhibit, Bea?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Okay.
I was supposed to, but
it's still ongoing because we received an email from Harvey that CWC and I think the organizers inviting the professors because the exhibition is until November 16 or 14.
Oh,
I'm
okay. Tell me
not
when you
sure.
guys go. I'll go.
So you guys should go. See CWC, and you will also see nice designer furniture by Vitra. CWC supplies
Oh yeah,
Vitra.
I got it.
So yeah, so it's like if we have designer buildings, we also have designer furniture. It's a bit pricey, that of course, but if you want to see like visionary, not visionary, but classical classic modern furniture, that's the place to go. Since there's an exhibit, you have an excuse to not buy. I mean, you can go there, but of course, it's a little awkward if you're not buying. So, but since there's an exhibit, it'll be an opportunity for you guys to just visit. Sige, I'm sorry, Joanna and Justin. So you may already proceed.
Okay lang, sir. So, sir, for this week, we created mainly two types to present. So the first one are rendered perspectives, and then the second one is permutations that you ask for the chapter. So Justin, you wanna explain this one?
So what we got so far on our progress from our first typologies to what it would look like if it render it already and have at least a view. This may be initial, I guess. So I might you might improve our render path. So and a bit part of the structure as well. So you would notice that there's still spaces there that's still empty pa. So I kind of left that out first for the meantime. So what we're gonna give a preview of at least two aspects of this typology. So one, the park in the middle, and one laboratory. So this is for like our the space in between that connects to both sides, where the left side laboratory, the right side for the commercial. We just want to give you somewhat a final look.
Okay.
Next would be our initial laboratory. We were supposed to give a floor plan about it, but I we didn't get to finish it yet. So for next week, we might show another render and at least the final floor plan together with the layout as well. So
Okay, so for this chapel, sir, you mentioned something about ephemeral architecture. So we looked into it, and from what I understand, ephemeral architecture it's mainly temporary. So it's a temporary transformation of any place, and its existential key it lies precisely in its temporary identity. So rather than seeking architectural perfection, it mainly aims to produce amazing effects and cause admiration. So that's what we want to integrate with our plans for the chapel. So here's a sectional view of the chapel. So the ground floor, it compromises of two sections.
Thank you.
On the left
Go. Sorry. Go ahead. Joanne.
side, and then the left part it's a stair area, and then the right part it's a private prayer area, and then the stairs it leads up to the chapel and the altar where visitors can sit and pray. So when we look into ephemeral architecture, it has like a field of activity in large celebrations. So we wanted to include that because in Manila, there's millions of devotees scattering their city. So it not only happens during, for example, the Traslacion annual event. Every day in the Quiapo Church, thousands of devotees visit the church to the point where hundreds of people actually line up outside of Quiapo Church. So that's why we wanted to design a chapel wherein they can have a symbol of devotion as well. So the idea for our chapel it's to celebrate tradition. So it combines architecture and tradition that lives much of its history on the streets. So as you can see here on the right part, there's like a place where you can light a candle. And since we decided that maybe we can make use of tensile fabrics for our building, we thought that flames might be bad for the building. So we thought maybe instead of actual candles to use inside the building, we can use flameless LED candles. And then for the smoke effect, we can make use of humidifiers to play a role in sort of this pavilion type chapel. And then the idea it's to mainly reintroduce like traditional values and to introduce traditional values in a modern context with the use of tensile materials. So here in this diagram, it's the anatomy of the building. So we thought, what if for the mobility part of the chapel, what if it can be mobile throughout the city? So we can create sections of the building. So for example, at the top part, you can remove the top part and then move it across the city. Or maybe we thought maybe we can fold the fabric so that we can move it across Quiapo Church, just like the tradition of the Traslacion. So here's like the idea for the building. For example, on the top left, that's the actual location of the chapel that's located across the Ayala Bridge. Then maybe we can move it across Metro Manila City, because I saw these types of architectural pavilions wherein their main idea is to move across the city because of its mobility. So that's all we have for
Okay.
this week.
Actually, I love that you guys are very critical of the program. Although, of course, I will suggest ideas as an addition to your ideas. You're not always expected to follow it all the time because I want you guys to think, and probably my ideas are just are impromptu ideas. So it's good that you are percolating on it and still developing your project by yourselves. But now that I mentioned being critical, I already said that you guys can already proceed finishing this project. But there's one thing I need to reiterate, whether you are CTV or pragmatic, already at this stage, I want you guys to be very conscious of the building technology. When you're looking at the number 4, can you focus on number 4? I don't see how this is going to stand. Even the slab is not very realistic. I want you guys to detail this beautifully. The reason for this, because I want you to fall in love with building technology, because a lot of the design quality is actually dependent on how you're going to build it. How we wish that it's just all fabric, but in reality, the fabric needs something to support it. So can we go to the other section when you're showing the rendering?
Wait, sir, so just to add to this one, we were actually struggling with the column placement. So if you can see on the stair area, we were kind of cautious on the head space.
Yeah,
So
that's also one
whenever
of
you
my
go up, yeah.
yeah. So that will be something that you need to investigate. Um,
Yes.
so while you guys have a go signal already, you know that there's so many issues with the design that you still have to fix. It happens in practice. So you're already practicing that now. No? Even though you have a nice idea, the big question is it actually doable with the building system, the building technology that we have? So it's good that you guys are conscious of that already. But I want to see a beautiful section with how it's going to be constructed and seeing the clearance, the high clearances. Okay? Sige, can we go to the rendering up this taas? I want you guys to fall in love with building technology drawings. How you're going to build it. Can we number 2? Okay, when I'm looking at this, how I wish we can build something like this. When I design, how I always wish that we can employ a glass that has no divisions.
Yeah.
But this is not possible. So you need to provide division. So the best that you can do is probably silicone it if you're not going to have a framing. But if you
Yeah.
imagine this building to be breathing, then definitely you will have some windows that are operable. So that will have frames. So that's where the design will also happen, locations of those frames. But if you intend the entire building to be concealed, yun nga lang, it's going to be hot, no? If there's no electricity, I think it's going to be greenhouse effect. Depending on where the sun is, definitely. But you will have a very clean facade, such as this. But you need to show the divisions to make it more realistic. Uh, yeah, so that's actually the one of the challenge of design. I want you guys at this level to have that maturity already when you are designing, because you are aware of the limitations of construction and you already considering them. Number 1, can we go to number 1?
Oh, wait, sir, can I
Yeah,
say
sure,
something
sure,
about
sure, sure. Sorry.
So this one, the one you're mentioning with the clean lines, we were thinking this is the placement for the hallway. So the hallway, it's around 2 meters wide. So there's 2 walls on the left and the right. And then on the right side, the one from the interior, that's actually where the columns will be placed. So we were thinking, what if this part, the one you can actually see from the exterior, what if sir ano siya, naka-overhang po siya?
Yeah, actually it's nice. I know what you mean. I think it started with, not started, but we saw this in Villa Savoie by Le Corbusier, wherein the ribbon windows are it's uninterrupted because the columns behind the window. You can also see it in SDA. Diba? You have all glass windows and the columns are behind the windows so that Ed Calmal can have a very clean all glass curtain wall. So in a way that's what I'm seeing now, but still um I think the longest, I just spoke with a glass supplier for a project, and then they say they can do a 2 meter wide uh, glass. So I think it can even be pushed to 3 meters. So but at least provide that kind of articulation, the divisions. All right.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Go. Yeah. But I like where this is going because even though you guys um, are very sure that you're doing something not conventional, but pragmatic, this still comes out very unique in a way. It comes out fresh, no? So, but I want you guys to be very cautious of how you're going to build it. Okay? So, and express it even in the rendering. All right? So that, because that shows maturity in a design if you have those details. Okay?
That's sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else? You have any questions?
None for me, sir. Do
Okay.
you have anything to ask
None
JM?
for now, sir.
Sige. Thank you guys. I'll see you next week. No
Thank you,
more
sir.
cancellation kasi wala na. Ano. Pero finish this already. So, sige. Go
Yes,
ahead.
sir. That's sir.
Sige. Bea and Jao. And then if I get disconnected, I will just keep reconnecting.
Yes, sir. Hold up. There, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Ah,
No,
Bea.
Bea, sir.
Okay, sorry.
Hi, yeah. I'm just
Okay.
exporting one more thing and then
Okay. Our sheets are like, they're not usually like this.
messy.
It's
Yeah,
alright.
they're not
It's
always
alright.
like this.
Basta I'll be blown away by finals.
Gosh.
Of course, of course.
Good.
You want I
See
can
what-
present mine?
Si Mac,
One
showed in his
Okay.
IG story, uh,
Go ahead.
CTV daw, yung may skateboard park, etc.
So, yeah. Meron pala
But-
sa ano. Sa
No,
Bali ba
actually-
yun, sir?
Oh, actually they copied it in Bali. When I was there, it's a club called Pretty Poison. You have to bike there, and then it's really isolated from the rest of Canggu. And then when you go there, yeah, there's a covered area, but of course everyone was hanging out around the skate bowl. Yeah, and then nag-exhibition lang sila doon, and I think that's where it originated from because Siargao is trying to be Canggu in Bali. So I'm not surprised that it's there now. So go ahead, guys.
Right, sir.
Well, sir, okay, for this week, we kind of just developed an idea from last time and kind of implementing dreamscapes or like, yeah, the concept of dreams and how it could influence how we built the skate park and everything. So then for this one, we really did want to be able to accomplish in like melding together the skate park with the different programs in the house. So yeah. Jai, you could start presenting yours.
Yeah, all right. So we kind of treated. We're gonna present a SketchUp model. We kind of treated the idea separately because we have like different kinds of circulations. So like to start off with the most intimate one would be
Actually,
the bedroom.
I don't understand it yet, as you guys are explaining, but
Yeah.
looking at the drawings, it's really it's exciting me.
Maybe we could show the as a whole first so that we can.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put the roof in.
Sorry, sir.
And this one and
I'm
this one.
loving it already.
Yeah. So basically, um so this is the worst presentation. Basically we have entrances here, in here, and in the back here. So we're gonna talk about this one first. So the main idea is that there is a water flowing throughout the trail below, and then so it goes in this direction, and so the intuition would direct them to follow the trail, or the follow the stream, I mean, which kind of leads them to more communal areas. So first off, this would be the um more intimate one, the bedroom situation, where they go against um the flow of water. So this is the floor plan. So basically, the how we treated this one is that we kind of created three entrances. So one, two, three here. And if we go to the SketchUp model, um, it kind of provides different um, experiences. What where um, if you go back here, this is more communal in a way. This is where it's like neutral objects like ledges and benches. But when we transition to the next opening, which is this one, it's more of a introduction of skating with the quarter pipe, the ramp, and the last one would be an amalgamation of two, the bench type thing and a ramp situation here. So if we go back to the model, so you can see how like that. So basically, what we want is the more you go, you follow the trail, you go against the trail, you find more intimate spots where you could do your tricks mostly by yourself or with other people, but not like a communal skate park. So yeah. So when we go back here, this is how we treated the thing where it's kind of like a museum type where we wanted to um, direct people in specific places where um, they could kind of show relationship to each other, and some rooms don't connect to each other. So it kind of makes this story. So for example, you could see how the circulation from 1 to 4 going to 4 to 2, kind of like that, and
Yeah, it's
six to
really like
three.
a gallery.
Yeah. And the thing is, we don't just give
Why
them
is
like
it labeled
this.
1 to 4?
Oh,
Here.
yeah. Basically, like, um, I got lost. Sorry. So from that, um, these are the starting numbers of the entrances, and then now that we kind of set that number, we kind of extended it slowly. You have this middle ground here and have this connection from 63, so the main idea is to connect them to one another, but use the form that we made, the cylindrical object, to become this container, because one of our researches kind of like when we use dreams as a fabric for our building, we saw that these cylindrical buildings can be containers of memory and dream. And so since our um, all of our skate parks in different cylinders are very different from each other, so they're kind of compart- compartmentalized, because we wanted to give different experiences for everybody. So since this is a bedroom, we wanted to kind of give them intimacy, and kind of like this one, like some renders that we made, like intimacy from this places here, and how we could sort of combine um, spaces together, sort of like this. This spot is in, let's see here, it's in a 5 and 8. So you could, so you're here looking at, you're connecting different rooms together, but then the walls are disconnected, like a gallery in in this in the container itself, so that it feels bigger. But then these walls are maximum height of 2.7 meters, so it's very homey. So it's very really feels like a home that you could just stay in, and especially that the roof is kind of sloped, so that it kind of has this expansion feeling the more you go inside and explore the space. And like how because the main idea that we took from the bedroom situation is that um that sense of like having a place for yourself, unlike a communal skate park where everything is um just right in your face, which is also a good thing. But since we want to capture like this intimacy, like that feeling of because I feel like skateboarding is this um individual sport, unlike basketball or like football, tennis. You could sort of have this you could be alone, but unlike skateboarding, um it's so specific to yourself, and you need all the time for yourself to learn at least this the most simplest trick. So giving this space would allow them to have this feeling of them maybe alone in there in front of their house trying to accomplish like one trick from day to night or something. Yeah, so that's the idea there. And like having this skylights, not only like um because our idea for the skylights is that people can go here. The main idea of having this green roof or this walkable roof is that people who don't skate, who maybe is afraid to go inside the skate house or something, um, would uh, these skylights would bring curiosity and sort of like look at these experience these individualized experiences and kind of appreciate the sport as this intimate activity for people. Yeah. And then yeah, so for the next one, um it would be this one, this part, which is the skate shop. Then next one would be like Beos. So
I think we
so
can
the current
explain the
oh,
living room.
okay, sure.
Yeah. Because the next part actually is a living room, which is where we really wanted to direct the people the most towards, since it's a more communal space, as Ja mentioned, and has a less choreographed uh, movement. Because of the bedroom, with its intimacy, we did want to create something that was more choreographed in a sense that there were somewhat direct connections between spaces as it was shown. But then for this one, I didn't actually finish drawing on top of it, but it kind of shows that with the flow, it does mix a lot of the pedestrians and also the skaters around the area. So then with this one, actually, we did a lot of combinations for steps and ramps and even steeper ramps, as well as like adding bowls that show connections between people and skater, because instead of kind of isolating places that you could skate, we really wanted to embed them into places where people could possibly, after getting the food or like snacks that are located in, let's just try to draw. Yeah, in this area,
These parts,
those
yeah.
areas. Yeah. They could actually just lounge around the space and not really kind of close themselves off from the skaters, because around the area it does allow skate, but then um, it's really meant to be for everybody to circulate, like uh, kind of have like harmony between each other and everything. And then from that, this actually, the plan itself reflects the living room, the informal living room that we wanted to really incorporate into this planning, so that it gets some sort of familiarity as well in terms of uh, like the format, the flow, so that yeah, people can get that yeah, like understand how it could be similar to a living room and everything. So then with the informal living room, there's also the more formal living room, which is the right side, where we wanted to create some sort of area that is for more mature skaters, where they already know their tricks really well, and still, even though it allows for a lot of uh, more like more advanced yet not beginner skaters, like it's still safe enough for people to be able to circulate around even though they're not a skater, and be able to use certain areas to be able to lounge. So yeah, that was actually showing the SketchUp file, and in the more like the one that connects the green space, which is outside. Yeah, the bowl that's there actually is uh about 2 meters deep, so that allows for yeah more advanced skaters and everything, and it allows also for some sort of show, which is something that we wanted to really incorporate into how living room spaces are, where there's always something that the furniture is like oriented in a lot of like households and everything. So then from the right side, right half of the cylinder, the circular form, it's kind of like reflecting the seating areas where people can actually sit around the space and look towards what's happening for like the skaters trying to practice their tricks and everything. And also these steps and these types of bleachers can actually be used as well for skating. So then there's really a lot of opportunity to in terms of circulation. So then it's not as restricted as something that is considered to be more intimate in our distributed spaces and everything. So yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of ramps, quarter pipes, and steps that allow for different types of tricks to be able to be practiced in the space. So it's like really maximized and everything. Um, yeah, we can show the in the render.
Oh yeah, sure. Now this one's just a general one for
So
the
yeah,
left part.
actually, since we wanted, yeah, this one. So since we wanted the living room to actually be very open and allow a lot of people to flow within it, we really wanted the space itself to not be enclosed at all. Like there are pillars that kind of surround it. However, like it's a lot of um there aren't anything that there isn't anything that kind of closes itself away from like natural ventilation and everything. So then even the skylight isn't enclosed by a glass, where it does allow for water collection as well. So it kind of this bowl serves as something that can collect the water and be used for the river type of hallway that we wanted to implement to encourage the flow and direction of people. So yeah, this is mainly it. And you could see there the stalls and um the height of the staircases and everything. So yeah.
All right. Sige. Uh, okay, like I said, like everyone else, this is, I would encourage you guys to finish this already. But given, if we're going, given the time, uh, if I'm going to critique it, if I'm going to look at the plan that you showed earlier, can we go to one copy 3.jpg?
This one.
Yeah, that one. That one. So I would actually demand from you to create more stories behind it. Like, what is this gallery about? What is this room about, etc. Because right now we are focusing more on the functionality and movement, etc. So which is really good. But later on, I think it will really enrich the context of this project if you have some storytelling quality to it, like each circle is developed from a certain idea. So but as it is all good. Maybe I'm just going to ask you guys to develop this technically because my I have the same comment as the previous group. Like, can we go to the rendering again with the skylight, etc.? So try to make sure that the size of the skylights will accommodate the limitation of the glass dimensions, and also that wall, no? So that wall that is not doesn't go all the way to the ceiling. If you have a circle and you only have that support on the side, I don't know what the span of what the diameter of that building is. You might need some support inside. So that wall can be used to support the inner the center part of the building, because it might be a long span. So that will, sorry to be an arbiter of bad news, but I like the design. These are the things that I love when I also design. But you need to face reality. I mean, we need to address it uh, so that you can really achieve the effect and the experience that you want to achieve when designing something. So this is that moment. All right. So right now, I'm doubtful that it will be as pristine as this. But if you can present, how you're going to support this long span of a diameter, it's more than welcome. Do you have any response to that?
Um, Not really. Oh,
Okay.
because we were thinking about the structural
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
closely this week. So yeah,
Okay, that's
that's
good. That's
that's
good. I want you guys to be very sensitive about it, because no matter how nice your rendering is, if you do not consider how it's going to stand, how it's going to be supported, all those ethereal quality of space will disappear the moment you consider it. So it's in design development that you are considering that already, even schematic design. So I think it's the middle part that I'm concerned about. Like the sides, I guess it's okay, but really the middle part. And then can we go to the overall layout, like showing all the circles?
uh-oh.
I think I saw something.
Um, can you just
Maybe
show the
just
SketchUp?
yeah, sure, sure. So the way I understand it's like a conveyor belt, that winding
Mm-hmm.
thing, and then it literally a water stream?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we actually wanted the stream to be visible for the people to kind of
okay,
understand where the natural flow is.
okay, all right. Just finish this. But yeah, my critique, if it's going to be developed uh further down, if you have more time, yeah, create like the story behind. Because when you're looking at that layout, especially the gallery type, it feels like it has a story. It has a, yeah, it has a story behind it. So, but this is not, since we're pressed by time, this is not the time to do it. So I want you guys to finish this. You have another building to develop as well. So yeah, all right.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
so we
Okay,
actually didn't show you the skate shop yet.
Oh
okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
all
Just a
right. See,
quick one.
okay,
Oh yeah. So well, basically, it's like when we were thinking of the skate shop, we thought of like the cafe idea, or like that bar idea of having an island in the middle, and because we were trying to sort of reinvent a skate shop, and looking at skate shops where it could be transformed into event spaces for little skate spots, like little skate events. We wanted to kind of like just cherish that. And
yeah,
then and so that we have like these kind of neutralized skate obstacles, wherein these are like for 50 millimeters, like bench height, like that, and this
okay,
one's like coffee table height, those stuff. And like being having this um bowl that is supported by these two things here. And this is the Alvar Alto kidney pool, so
Fish, yeah,
kind of romanticizes
yeah,
the idea of it. So yeah,
yeah.
things like
Okay,
that. Yeah.
I love it actually. So, is this do you have any update on the fabric building when it comes to this special building? I have no further comments. Actually, I'm loving the direction. Uh, yeah,
I think we have to like, because this was originally the fabric building, but then we have to find something else for the fabric
yeah,
building.
because I don't think it's ideal to have a circular building for a fabric building. It will be very hard to adapt to other buildings to become another building. Like it is going to be very difficult to adapt it to a different shape of a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, sige. Thank you guys.
All right.
So,
Thank you, sir.
okay.
Thank you,
Uh,
sir.
Julian, Lance, bilis.
Sir, may sinabi lang sa akin si Julian, may asikasuhin lang daw siya. Pwede next kami.
Okay.
Di pa siya bumabalik eh.
Okay, Antea. I know you're ready. Gray.
So, ay, si Ate ba nandiyan? I'll screen share.
Sige.
Ano.
Okay, so this is just like to identify like people who might visit our site or like stakeholders. So we identify that mostly like besides the people who live within Manila, that would be like people who commute within the area. So people who commute through places like yung Lacson Underpass and yung mga dumadaan na commuters from Taft Avenue. And then people who also I visit public parks within the area such as Aroceros and Mehan Garden, Manila. Also from our master plan, the plan from the previous group was to make that area behind that is like the location in vicinity of our site into a public park. Okay, next. So yeah, we actually like changed our building, like the form of our building, because we realized you could just compress the garden into like one building instead of having that wide gap, and we couldn't implement the rainwater that much anymore, so we decided to change the form of the building. Okay, next. Oh, even though we changed the form of the building, it still has the same mechanics when it comes to the drain tile, and we also started like trying to partition the spaces. Wait, next yung side kanina. Yeah. So there's like the bottom part is mostly the parking area with some commercial spaces, and then yung waiting shed, and yeah, from before the commercial, and then the compost area. Okay, next. So yeah, again yung commercial on the second floor, and then yung cafe or himay area also, and the columns are still the same. Next. And yeah, the third floor would just be like the roof garden again, since yun yeah, the previous idea, but like yeah, hindi na namin gamitin yung part na yan. And then in the roof, there would be like tea houses for people to like drink tea in. Okay, next. So this is just the structure. Like we set out the grid for the columns, and yeah, again the vermicompost columns from before. Okay, next.
So this is the traffic flow of our building. So the vehicular flow, this is the entrance parking and the exit parking. So ito yung traffic flow kasi. So dito yung parang flow of the vehicles. Then this stairs is supposed to be pedestrian access from the main roads so that they can access. So, and we actually focus this on the parking space, the parking areas. So depending on how we design the parking areas, the parking area. So parang the commercial areas can be adjusted. And the maintenance area, we decided, the maintenance area from before is like the placement of the cistern tanks for rainwater storage. So yeah, we have total area of commercial spaces 1,500 square meters. So according to the building code, since this is a shopping center, it is 100 square meters of shopping floor area. So 15 parking slots yung needed for the urban fabric. And for the roof, we decided na to implement green roof so that that these areas will be for like an extension for the cafe, so that they can for the people that don't want to participate in the himay, they can just drink tea here. And also, yeah. So this flat roof is supposed to be like a bridge to both green roofs, because it's actually so that we can maintain the green roof maintenance. So parang so it's not like it's a big space for maintaining the green roof. So we researched what type of green roof. So we decided na semi-intensive green roof yung gagamitin, because it is ideal for care facilities, play spaces, and picnic areas, and urban agriculture. Since yung malunggay is like shrub, so according to this picture, semi-intensive green roofs are ideal for grasses, herbs, and shrubs. It cost me parang it cost just right, and yeah. Since we I want, yeah. Since intensive green roof is like most for trees, so parang hindi naman kaya sa budget. So we decided na semi-intensive
Thank you.
green roof
Thank you.
gagamitin. So that's it lang, sir.
Okay. Sige, can we go to the floor plans? Is this a special building or a fabric building?
Sir, yung fabric pa rin po.
Okay, sige. So, I want an update on the special building because we don't have a lot of time. Okay, so, I want you guys to finish this already, but I want to see actual technical floor plans, not rendered, because I want to see how you guys are knowledgeable about the building technology, and also some sections we may, and just finish this already. I mean, we've already exhausted a lot of time developing this design, so I want to see this finish. All right. But I love the research part. And also the justification of the areas. That can be added into the process sheets that you already started. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Ano naman. Oh, sir, I guess Yeah, I realized that people were doing the interior part. It's not really shown in our presentation now, but like the previous ideas will be implemented in the urban fabric building. Like the table and yung sa himay niya. We weren't able to like put it in the presentation now, but we'll put it there. Yun lang.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Medyo natawa pa nga ako sa ano mo eh. Sa, what do you call it? Sa label mo, Himay area.
Yeah, we've been going the whole time.
Ang konyo. Okay. Sige. Alright. Sige. Thank you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Who wants to volunteer? Since
Hi.
Sir, I think, hindi, sige. Kasi,
ayun,
kaya mo na.
okay. Game.
wait lang.
Sir, rinig ba ako, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sige.
Ayos na. So, for this week, we focused on the fabric building. So, focusing on the residential first, residential area, we looked into what we created before, which is the bahay kubo typology na we use the awning system. So, by getting the shading device they use, we also got it from the special typology na so kasi for the special typology of the fabric recycling system, we created the base section for it, which has this profile of reaching towards the outside, like as well as curving, which we presented last time. So we kind of want to apply the profile of it for the looks of the fabric building by applying then the program, which is may shading device on the facade. May add ka pa ba dun, Julian?
Other than dun sa parang yung ginawa lang siya for the belt system, yung form na yun is actually we were trying to create arcade, something similar to an arcade, para dun sa ilalim nung kumbaga canopy niya, merong madadaanan yung mga tao. Yes, okay. Continue lang.
Yeah. So what we created is, by taking the profile, we noticed na by making it thin, so instead of entire structure is with that profile, since it's residential, it needs windows now and privacy. So we created like a louver type of that system by replicating it and also providing the arcaded system right here. So by creating that then, we notice na may pattern emerging, which is the arcing. By getting this curve, there's an arcing system, and we replicated it into the interior spaces. So the idea is this entire louver is extending into the interior, which acts as the beam of the spaces then, which is by getting the arcing thing. And from the awning system of the bahay kubo, we also wanted to apply the use of the textile recycling facility. So what we have is the fabric. So what we wanted is it's an operable fabric shading device. So how it works is this the top floor has a crank that pulls up the sagging fabric to bring up the shades. So why did we do it like this na nagsasag? So it's double layer. We wanted to accentuate the tensileness of the fabric. So by doing this, we create yung softness of the curve, the natural characteristics of the fabric. And then, and so it also shades it better rather than having just uh, one sheet of fabric shading the spaces. And yeah, ano pa ba?
And actually, we sinubukan rin namin i-explore yung parang more tensile or more parang stiff na fabric. Pero yeah, parang hindi namin na-achieve yung soft look. Masyado siyang mabigat tignan as a building.
So this, Julian?
Sige. So this is how it will look like if it was applied throughout the whole residential area. And dito sa render na to, hindi namin pa nalagay yung fabric, but that's generally how the form will look. And for now, it's the idea is just on the building envelope and somewhat the structural kasi if you think about it, para siyang nagiging buttress. So it can act also as a structural element, but hindi pa namin siya na research exactly how it will work. So yeah, you can also see how the arcade system will act as a hallway for pedestrians. And so next. For the interior, like I said, di pa namin na iisip masyado yung circulation parts, pero we tried to calculate how much space would be leasable, and from our calculation, which was like we took the area of the lot and took the area of the buildable space. This is a typical floor plan. There was about 65% of the space being used. That's